It's my vinyl update for August 2022. Ahoy everybody, and welcome to my vinyl update for August 2022. I'm recording this on the 30th because, as some of you know, I'm away from tomorrow, but I'm not anticipating there being any more to add to this anyway, but if there is, it will be in the September update. Bit more than I was anticipating this month. A couple of things I'd forgotten about turned up. Well, no, that's not strictly true. Something arrived that I wasn't anticipating, and we had a new release come out that I didn't know was coming, but more on which. And I did pick up a couple of pre-loved at the same time. Okay, so first up is I had the first batch of this year's. Is it the first batch? Might be in the second. Anyway, I had the latest batch of my Reckless Yes Records subscription. So I subscribe to Reckless Yes Records, a record label based in the UK. And for, I think it's about 70 quid a year, I get everything they release. If it's on vinyl, I get the vinyl. If not, I get it on CD. If it is on vinyl, I get the most limited version of the vinyl available. So far, most of this year's releases have been CD because of the vinyl issues, but there was one vinyl record that came, and I have, for a change, actually listened to this before doing this video. This is Touching Box with What Nothing. I think that's the right way around. Yes, it is. Yes. So, unfortunately, because they often do very nice, pretty coloured vinyl, this is just plain black vinyl. Lyric inner. And did I make notes? I did make note on some of the CDs. This was, I'm trying to remember now, electronic pop or electronic indie. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. So this came from the USA, and this is Mondo's reissue of the Batman Returns soundtrack. This was released over San Diego Comic-Con weekend. They had a load of exclusives. Some of them you could only buy at the Comic-Con. Some you could only buy online. This was thankfully one you could only buy online, so I was able to snap it up. So this is Danny Elfman's soundtrack for Batman Returns. It does also include Susie Mabanshi's Face to Face at the end. As is usual with Mondo, it has got a little obi, which I don't like personally. I think they just get in the way. But it's a beautiful package of a brilliant soundtrack. And then it's got an info sheet. And then LP1 is on this beautiful, I can't remember, they did give them names. Penguin Blue and Catwoman, whatever the other one is, or something like that. But this nice blue, marbly, splattery type vinyl. And LP2, Catwoman-y, neon-y, pink. Again, splattery, marbly type. Beautiful vinyl. I have also listened to this. Basically, I ran out of records. Or new stuff to listen to. Because I had a stack that I hadn't cleaned. So I've worked my way through all my new vinyl and ended up listening to a couple of this month's releases or arrivals before I had time to clean the stuff that needed cleaning. See, bloody Obi strip. I'll sort that in a minute. The second batch of Blue Tones reissues came out. So, when was it? About this time last year, they brought out the first little box set, which contained the first, Superior Quality Recordings 1994 to 2002, which contained the albums up to and including Science and Nature, and they issued... Science and Nature had not long had a vinyl release, but they did do reissues of Expecting to Fly and Return to the Last Chance Saloon. They've now, excuse me, they've now completed the set. So another CD box set with the rest of the albums in, and then vinyl reissues of the albums. So they are Luxembourg, on this was released on vinyl in 2003 when it came out. This is on transparent purple. The self-titled Blue Tones album. On vinyl for the first time ever. And this is on transparent blue. And then their to-date final album, although apparently they are working on a new one, did get a Record Store Day release in 2021, I think it was, a New Athens, which was on blue vinyl, which I did buy, but for completeness' sake, I did also buy this new reissue, which is just on black vinyl. Then I went to Slice of Vinyl, my local record shop in Gosport, to pick up a record, which you will see in a minute. And he's been clearing out some slow-selling stock, some new vinyl, in the sale section. And I had a flick through that and was pleased to pick up an album I was tempted by when it came out, but I didn't really want to pay full price for it. But it's an artist I collect. But as I said, I'm not sort of collecting the new albums as they come out because I don't really want to pay, 35 quid odd for them. But yes, so this is Elvis Costello and the Imposters, boy named If. That was it. I was trying to read that, forgetting it was written down at the bottom. Which, as you can see, was reduced from 35 quid to £20. Happy to pay £20 for a double album. Let's try and get this out the shrink because it is gatefold. I'm going to have to rip it. It's too tight. Okay. Comes in lyric inners. It's on solid purple. So yes, as I say, since I've been collecting Elvis Costello, I've only been picking up second hand basically. But for 20 quid, happy to pick that up. Whilst I was in there, I did also go through the pre-loved racks. I left a few things behind that I need. Fairly confident they'll still be there when I come back from London and I go in there with Craig Huntley, who's coming down for a few days, when we intend going and visiting. So I wanted to, make sure there was stuff there that I could buy then, rather than wipe him out now and then go in and pay a fruitless visit. But I did pick up 3 titles for £7 less 10%, so £6.30. Joe Jackson, Willpower, the instrumental album. It's not listened yet, but I collect Joe Jackson. It's not familiar with any of this music, I don't think. I don't think any of it is on the best of CD I have. But I'm sure I'll like it. I like all sides of Joe Jackson's music that I've heard so far, so I can't imagine this will be any different. But I wanted to... That was one that I thought might sell, because it's not a... A, it's not one you see every day, and B, being local, he's got lots of fans locally. This one I couldn't resist. The Spitting Image album. Absolutely no gimmicks except for a free poster inside, but it doesn't have the free poster. Is it just called Spitting Image? Oh, Spit in Your Ear it's called. So this was £5, so £4.50. I lied. It has got the poster. Didn't spot that. So if you don't know, Spitting Image was a comedy show that aired in the UK in the 80s and 90s, and it has been brought back recently. And it's a puppet show, satirical, used to be written and recorded right up to broadcast, so that it was always topical. And they did have a #1 single with the Chicken song, which a version of which is on here, not the single version, unfortunately. And the other pre-loved I picked up was enough Stevie Wonder for my collection for once in my life. It's sort of early Stevie that I've now got left to buy, so grab them when I see them. This has got for once in my life Shooby Dooby Doo Da Day, Sunny, and a few other tracks that are well known. No inner on this, which isn't a biggie. It's solid 60s vinyl, so it will survive until I clean it and stick it in an inner. So that was 15, so 13.50. And yes, the reason I went in was because every Thursday they send out an email saying here's the new releases for this week, and in it was the vinyl version of Alicia Keys' new album, which came out on CD back in February, and I've seen her tour it, and I'd seen no mention anywhere of it getting a vinyl release over here. There was a Target exclusive in the States, but nowhere did I see any mention of a UK release. So it was $31.99 this was. I contacted Kieran and said, oh, I'll have one of those, didn't know it was coming out. And that was not an issue. He had enough copies to put one by for me. Basically a big version of the CD booklet. So this album, which is excellent, or at least half of it is excellent, is in 2 halves. So there's the originals and then the unlocked. So the originals, which is the first album on here, 11 tracks, most of which are largely based around just Alicia and the piano. Some added instrumentation, but sort of stripped back songs, and I absolutely adore that section. The second second disc rather, and on CD it is 2 CDs, is the unlocked section. So that's 10 tracks, 9 I think it is, of which are the same 9 of the songs that are on. Put my wrong bit, sorry. 9 of the songs that are on disc 1. There's 1 track that is exclusive to the unlocked, and then I think there's 2 tracks that aren't on the unlocked, and they're remixed versions with added raps and things like that, which are fine. You know, they're still good because they're good songs in the first place, but the first disc is pretty much what I've wanted for an Alicia album for the last 3 or 4 albums. So yeah, you know, I loved the first side. It's the side of Alicia that I like, but it's all good. And then finally, put that away in a minute. This he did a pre-order on a few months back, and has finally come out. This is An Evening with Silk Sonic by Silk Sonic, who are Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, and this features special guest host Bootsy Collins. Haven't listened to it yet, but Leave the Door Open was a big... Well, I don't know how it did in the charts. It was certainly played on radio a lot over here, and Smoking Out the Window as well. But it's a great sort of 60s, 70s throwback sound on this that I really liked. So as soon as this came up, I thought, oh, I'll have that. Nothing too glamorous about the vinyl. So yes, that's it. That's my pickups for August. Hopefully plenty to show you in September, because I'm off to London tomorrow, and definitely intend to hit a few record shops and charity shops and whatever I can find whilst I'm there. So yeah, fingers crossed. Big update at the end of next month, and I will be doing videos of my time in London where I will show off any purchases in those as well. Thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks. Bye.